touchdowns reported in Oklahoma and Nebraska earlier today. No significant damage reported. Some large hail too. Will that occur again as we head on through the next 24 hours? We'll check that out in just a moment, but first let's start off with the tropical update. And this go around, the tropical update and Storm Watch is sponsored by Touchstone Energy. All right, well, the big story, and really the only story in the tropics at this point, is Hurricane Mitch. Everything else, as you would expect in late October, almost November in the Atlantic Basin, is very, very quiet all the way to the African coast. This is a big cold frontal trough out here in the central Atlantic, and there is Mitch, kind of stuck in the mud here, not moving very much at all. The latest advisory we have, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 16.3 north, 86 west, near the island of Guanaja, Honduras. Winds have steadily decreased in intensity as we've headed through the last 2 days, from its peak 2 days ago to 180 miles an hour to right now a Category 2 hurricane at 100 miles an hour, and again pretty much stationary. But because it is stationary just north of the Honduran coastal areas, the Honduras coast plus these outer islands here, including Guanaja and some of these islands just to the west, have just been getting absolutely raked with heavy rain, the strong winds, the huge tidal surge, the huge waves on top of the tidal surge. We've had reports of entire villages being just about wiped out on some of these islands. As many as 32 people have lost their lives in Nicaragua, Honduras, and even a person in Mexico. Death has been attributed to this hurricane so far. So even though it is weakening, still a deadly hurricane, and because it isn't moving, still some torrential downpours along the northern coastal areas, extreme northern coastal areas of Honduras, and these outer islands are just continually getting raked. Now the feeling is that eventually this hurricane will start to move more in a northwesterly track. Whether it then moves back over the Yucatan or maybe hugs the coastal areas up toward Cozumel and Cancun, that remains to be seen. Whatever happens, it's going to be very, very slow. It's going to take several days for this system to move in that direction. So we'll have several days to watch it, but this is very bad news for the Honduran coast. From the Honduras-Nicaragua border all the way over the Guatemala coast, the Belize coast, and the eastern Yucatan up to Cabo Catoche, there are still hurricane warnings in effect. And the very strong winds, mainly offshore, out over those islands I was talking about, and then out toward the northeast. But tropical storm force winds grazing the Belize coast and all the way down in through some of the mountains there of northeastern Honduras and even northern Nicaragua. So the effects of this hurricane being felt in a rather broad swath. And actually some of the huge swells that were generated a couple of days ago when this was a Category 5 hurricane were pushed out through the Yucatan Channel, and some of those swells actually have been affecting some coastal areas of the Gulf. We'll show you exactly where in a moment, but on the water vapor imagery, this is our hurricane. Big high pressure ridge to the north has pretty much been holding this system down. Eventually with time, and it may take another several days, this high is forecast to break down and may allow for what's ever left of this hurricane to get pulled more toward the northwest or north and eventually move into the Gulf, probably in a much weakened state. But again, we'll have several days to watch that and see if any of the moisture or energy from Mitch works its way toward the lower 48. And again, because of those swells I was talking about being generated through the Yucatan Channel, still some coastal flood watches out from Pascagoula, Mississippi over to Pensacola. Keep it tuned here to the Weather Channel for the latest on Mitch. Meanwhile, back in the lower 48, some rain moving through the northeast. Here's the storm system that caused the couple of bouts of severe weather in Nebraska, even as far south as Oklahoma today. Still a last remnant of some of those thunderstorms moving up past the Tulsa vicinity. No severe thunderstorm watches or warnings out at the present time. As I mentioned, a couple of brief tornado touchdowns, but no reports of any damage. Still, there's going to be some rain in an arc all the way from the Dakotas through Iowa, and scattered showers down through Missouri and Oklahoma. The rain in the northeast just about ready to pull away, should be gone pretty much by the morning rush hour. We'll keep you updated on Mitch. Keep it tuned here.
Next on Weather Center, an update on rain that's moving into the Midwest tonight and tomorrow, plus the latest on Hurricane Mitch and its potential impact on the U.S.
This program was sponsored by Touchstone Energy. We are America's electric cooperatives.
Partnership means growth. That's the way it's been for America's electric co-ops and America's businesses and communities. We've always kept affordable power flowing steadily and reliably. Now, we're joining other local co-ops to form a nationwide alliance, Touchtone Energy, to ensure state-of-the-art technology and personalized service. It's the power of human connections. We are America's electric cooperatives.
Why get put out every time you mop your floor? The amazing Dirt Devil Mop Vac lets you scrub your floor clean, instantly vacuum it dry as a bone, and get right back to your normal routine. Nothing escapes the power of a Dirt Devil.
When you give a student the chance to fulfill a dream, we all get to share in it.
10 minutes before the hour, you've tuned in just in time for Storm Watch. You know, our top story as far as Storm Watch goes has been the tropics. We've been dealing with Hurricane Mitch, and that has been, of course, the top story. We are happy to say this morning, though, that Mitch is only a Category 1 hurricane with winds of